Crucial match in the Betway Premiership, round 26 of this season's campaign. Marumo Gallants at home to Lamontville Golden Arrows of Bafana Bastende. We're live and exclusive on your World of Champions at the Dr. Petros Molomela Stadium in Mangaung. A little bit misty this afternoon. It's an overcast sky, around about 15-16 degrees centigrade, and the surrounding township happy to have professional football in their backyard once again. Marumo Gallants coming off a loss against Mamelodi Sundowns in the semi-finals of the Nedbank Cup. Lamontville Golden Arrows played to a goalless draw with Chippa United, but they haven't played for 2 weeks. Lamontville Golden Arrows, they still have a whole bunch of injuries that are plaguing the side. 5 changes made for this encounter after the Chippa United match for Lamontville Golden Arrows, only 2 for Marumo Gallants. Really is going to be an interesting one. Lamontville Golden Arrows already in the tunnel, waiting for Marumo Gallants to join them in the tunnel at this stadium built in the centre of Mangaung. Joined in commentary by Brian 2020 Mate. Brian, good afternoon to you as well. We saw from Richards Bay FC last night in their victory over Cape Town City that the relegation battle is going to be absolutely crucial. Let's have a look at the bottom of the table.
It is crunch time. You've got to consolidate when there's an opportunity. Interesting to see a Cape Town City, the super spot. Marumo Gallants, they know they're not safe yet, so that makes it an exciting one. And like we're saying, it's going to be a battle out there for both teams. Of course, good posture for Golden Arrows, but they know they can't have their guards down.
Ready for battle. I had a chat to Abdeslam Wadu before I came up to commentary today, and he said these points are so important. You heard as well from Makomo and Muti just how important these points are for them, because a win for Lamontville Golden Arrows today will take them above Kaizer Chiefs on the table and up into 8th position on the log. For Marumo Gallants, they could move above Golden Arrows with the victory, so important for both sides in their quest to get away from the bottom of the table and any problems as far as even the playoff position is concerned. Incredible to see SuperSport United, Cape Town City in the playoff positions at the moment. It really is going to be an interesting end to the season, and we're glad that we can share this with you on your World of Champions. Marumo Gallants making 2 changes after the loss against Pirates in the Nedbank Cup. Sekala Setoli comes back into the starting lineup, and so does Junior Dion, the former Amazulu Ivorian striker. No place for Siyabonga Nhlapo, and no place for Mlungisi Kumalo either. And so lots of responsibilities. I like the left and right wings with Maklatsi and Msendami, the Zimbabwean 24-year-old. Nemtachela, the attacking midfielder, with Junior Dion up front. It's a solid-looking combination. The veteran, nearly 40 years old now, Washington Arubi, plays in goal for the home side this afternoon. The visiting side of Bafana Bastende making 5 changes coming to this one after their draw 2 weeks ago with Chippa United. And speaking to the team contingent, they say that injuries are plaguing the side. Back comes Keegan Phillips into right back. John Wengani, the Zimbabwean, will partner Gladwin Chitolo in the centre of defence. Shadri Kupeti, the former Royal AM player, will play in the defensive midfield role. Nklanhla Zwane makes a run, as well as does Kagiso Malinga, the former left-footed Swallows player, who in his day is absolutely deadly. Toss of the coin. Our match referee today is Christopher Kistuer with Romario Piri and Given Letlaka, his assistant referees. Michael Mosemeng is the 4th official today. Chitolo, the captain of Golden Arrows, and the number 5 jersey for Marumo Gallants is Diala Manaka. Brian Mate will take you through the formations of both the home side and Bafana Bastende.
Coach Kwadu believes in the effort that the team has put together, the experience of Matiani, and you have Sibia in that centre-back pairing. You have the strength of Manaka. Sitole is Nemtajela. Of course, Dion is the point of reference, supported by Mahlatsi, who will operate either on the left, on the right. He keeps switching the positions. Golden Arrows, there's Gladwin Chitolo's experience. Look out for Kobedi alongside Zwane. the most talked about player, of course. It is Ndwandwe. There is Malinga that leads that front line, supported by Ntanti.
The players and the referees are lined up for a moment of silence. A very short but impactful moment of silence here in Manong for Simon Bulehoko. You'll remember him from Kaizer Chiefs, but prior to that and in the NPSL, played at Val Professionals, and may his soul rest in peace.
Deepest condolences. We've all learned, we looked up to him, a student of the game, no-nonsense defender. May his soul rest in peace.
Spoke about the importance of the points here today for both of these outfits. Pitch looks a little bit on the bumpy side. We'll get through some of the conversations we've had since we arrived at the Dr. Petros Molamela Stadium this afternoon. I know, Brian, you've done a bit of a walk around and had a chat to a few people, and I've done the same. Sekela Sitole, former Free State Stars player in Baroka, will get us underway then at Dr. Petros Molamela Stadium. It is Marumo Gallants playing in the mostly white this afternoon. We will attack the goal to the left-hand side of your screen, while Abafana Bestende in their traditional green and yellow strip will play from left to right during the course of the first 45 minutes. We welcome you to your World of Champions. Good to be alongside of Brian Mate today. Should be an interesting match.
The brand of football, both sets of coaches, very attack-minded, paying attention to the details. That makes it an exciting one. Of course, the pitch, not at its best, but those players grew up Ekasi. They would understand that there's bumpy pitches, but well equipped to try and put up some good entertainment. Looking forward to it.
Such an important role for Diala Manaka to play today. Amount of goals that he scored today, a couple of them from the penalty spot. So if there is a penalty for Marumo Gallants, they expect them to give the responsibilities to their captain. 35-year-old former Arrows player, played at Polokwane and City and Chukuma after that. And then Chukuma had their status bought by Marumo Gallants, who also bought the status of Morocco Swallows to be playing in the Betway Premiership after finishing 11th in the Motsepe Foundation Championship last season. Arrows looking to do better than their 9th position in the previous campaign, but they find themselves in this match in 10th spot, with a chance to go into the top 8 if they do pick up a victory away from home, which they've only had 4 of so far this season. Keenan Phillips back in the starting lineup. Nice little ball from him as well. Expecting good runs from him. Tanti plays in good positions. Good save from a Ruby off the Malinga. Told you he'd be a danger.
It's the quality of that build-up, the efficiency, the intelligence in terms of running, the decision-making that becomes very crucial in certain areas, the confidence builder in terms of getting the shot on target. Good movement on and off the ball, well set up. Good shot, great goalkeeping.
What was nice about it is the ball rolled across to him. He didn't hesitate, no first touches, and control and whatever the case might be on a bumpy pitch. Hit it straight with the left foot. It was a really good shot.
Grew up see the bumpy pitches are there, a lot of those type of coaching. So accustomed to that, good technique, but it's the presence of mind and of course being time conscious into getting the ball straight into the box and getting a shot on target.
First corner kick of the encounter, near post as well. Nice control from Ndwandwe. Back from whence it came, but the angle's a little bit better this time around. There's too many white jerseys around the ball for Arrows to really complete the pressure, and a nice clearance eventually from Kamahelo Makhlati. Trying the slider, Zwani through into that penalty area. This is a really good start from Abafana Bestende. Ndwandwe claiming that he'd been caught by Diala Manaka, the referee not flinching at all, and gives a free kick into the home side as well, as Ndwandwe scrapes himself off this rather scrappy surface this afternoon.
You know, some players can be good actors, right? look at this. Aspiring to be an actor at some point post his football career, hoping that maybe he can get something out of the referee Ndwandwe.
It's fascinating for me that both sides have left out their leading goal scorers. Gabadini Mhango suffering from a little bit of an injury. He's on the bench for Marumo Gallants, and it's the same for the Knoxman for Abafana Bestende, who incidentally, in the 3 victories that the Lamontville Golden Arrows have earned over Marumo Gallants, all of them at home, by the way. The Knoxman has scored in every single one of them, all 3 of them, going back to October 2021. Then January 2023 and September last year. Mutiswa on target in all 3 of those matches. In fact, let me tell you that Marumo have never beaten Arrows ever in their career. Their various times when they bought the statuses of Chokuma and then recently with Morocco Swallows. No victories at all for Marumo Gallants. But Arrows have never won away from home against Marumo Gallants. All the victories, the 3 victories you've spoken about, have come either in Durban, the Princess Magogo Stadium, or up in Hammersdale, where they're playing at the Mpumalanga Stadium at the moment.
I think on the side of Marumo Gallants, they want to change things. The brand of football that has been displayed by both teams. Credit has got to go, of course, to the coaches that have had over. And Mr. Kwadu brought in good posture in this Marumo Gallants players.
That battle for the ball by Cedric Kopeti. Now another chance for Umtanti. Not able to slide the little ball through into that Marumo Gallants penalty area. Very nice and watchful from the midfield of the home team. Remember Cedric Kopeti from Bloemfontein Celtic, so he's familiar with this part of the world, but also with the Royal AM, and made the trip down to Durban with the Royal AM side when they bought the status of Bloemfontein Celtic, and has been declared a free agent and was picked up very snappily by Lamontville Golden Arrows, and in the starting lineup today, the 29-year-old. Both sides will be very anxious to hold possession. They'll be very anxious to get a score on the board early. Having chatted to Abdeslam Wadou before we came upstairs, and he was telling me the match against Orlando Pirates, he had a game plan that he was going to change at half-time. So the structure and the formation that he played in the first half, he was going to change at half-time, hoping that Orlando Pirates would adjust to his first half structure, as there's a hot shot to half come across from him, Sendami, hoping that Pirates would change to counter-attack his first half selection, and then change the structure for the second half. So he's a bit of a tricky man, is Wadu. However, that early goal from Dlamini sabotaged that whole structure.
So the state of readiness, of course you had this game plan and you're hoping that you could change yours in the second half, and things happened. What was plan B immediately to be able to do that? And that becomes very crucial.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's a good left-hand side from Marumo Gallants. Lebachang Mabocha, former Magesi player, and as well as Daniel Msindami. And Sintami trying to sneak in behind Keenan Phillips. He's a tricky player, he's the Zimbabwean. 2 goals for him this season already. Inside and outside, space available. But yeah, unfortunately not testing Edward Mayova.
He's got a good posture all the time. Makes a good run, gets good supply, doesn't panic, puts it under control. Had to improvise, had to make a decision. Still improvising. Gets it in the right area, but doesn't get the target. Switch on to perhaps the weaker foot, being the left. But these days, football requires you to be able to kick or pass with both feet. But that one, like they say, the kasi, it's just to balance you.
Last time these two teams played was in Hammersdale, and Arrows winning by 2-0 with Knoxman and Sabia scoring goals in round 2 on the 21st of September last year. Don't forget it was a late start to the season because of a change of sponsorship and all the branding that needed to be changed, not only in stadia but also on the team kits. There is the coach, newly appointed, Abdeslam Wadu. But don't forget, Mangobin Muti is also fairly new in his umpteenth appearance as the coach for Lamontville Golden Arrows after having left Mamelodi Sundowns.
One coach, of course, that has won a trophy for Golden Arrows. Where? Orlando Stadium. Competition MTNH at the time. Last time I saw him wearing a suit, because that was when they were in that final and they had to beat Ajax. But he's come back. His identity is already showing because of the kind of football that he wants his players to showcase.
Easy control by Vusi Sipia. Another former Swallows man. You've got a former Swallows man in Kagiso Molinga, who will be up against a former teammate in Vusi Sipia. Nice little tickle through there from Nemtajela. He's really starting to come to some sort of form and plays a similar sort of role to Velimseni and Dwandwe as an attacking midfielder. And he's a solid player. He's the number 15.
He is. When you say number 15, the one and only that made jersey number 15 quite popular, 16V, Dr. Kumalo dictated terms at Chiefs. And this young man.
Oh, there's a shot that just wide from Junior Sede Dion. The Ivorian looks hungry today.
He's always that aggressive player. He's always showing determination. He's always showing that appetite to get something. Good control of the ball, good decision making. Not enough power, of course.
Oh, the ball just got away from Washington Arubi a little bit. He has to scramble to safety and can't afford to make any mistakes early on in any match, let alone at the crucial stage of the season.
Self-inflicted panic because the control wasn't convincing on his side. He was being put under pressure. He could have easily cleared that ball first time around.
Tindami, Nemtajela, bit of space for Kumbulani Ngube. 24-year-old right back. Have really been impressed with him this season. Solid contributor. Keeping ball at feet. Lovely work coming back. There's Nduduza Zibia. Got a bit of pace about him.
That's the case when you're up against strong defenders in a Vusi Sibia, and compromising in his challenges, got aerial presence. It's going to be an interesting battle alongside Malinga. Already getting some pep talk from the referee.
Yeah, one of those where I saw you there and there. And if it happens again, you know the result.
Is that one of those statements at the end of the day? I'm watching you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Almost an appeal for a handball with that touch from Shadrick Kobedi. Playing in the pocket today for Abafana Bestende. Such an important role as we've spoken about. Forward now by Nklank Lezwani. Look at the role that Nemtajela is playing. He drops back. He's not quite playing today a box-to-box role, but he certainly has a lot of movement. Lovely first touch. Nemtajela into the penalty area. Diala Manaka wide. some good football being played by both sides so far.
The emphasis being on expressing yourself, but making sure that you make good decisions. Of course, the importance of winning the game. So whilst doing that, you can tell that the system has been instilled on the players.
Ball played far too strongly for Nduduza Sipia. Now, Brian, it's a crucial part of the league season in the Betway Premiership, their first season of sponsorship, and all the way down from Kaizer Chiefs to SuperSport United. It's only 7 points. There's a couple of teams that have more matches to play than others. There's a man who is a name we had some fun with initially, and we were corrected in a lot of ways. It's not Dikakoi.
See, when I move on across the borders, you know, it's the Kakoi when we are in England. Yeah, we call it, in England they used to call him Dikakoi, and we call him Dikacho. But you can go wherever and go to England and visit the areas where the great Lucas Hadebe used to be at. They used to call him Dikakoi, and it's Dikacho. DK, I used to call him. Played alongside that man who's sitting next to him.
Phillips into the middle looking for Mtanti, who's already looking fairly busy. This is Ntlazwani again, 24-year-old who played in the Motepe Foundation Championship with JDR Stars and the University of Pretoria Tucks. Nice breakaway down the opposite flank. Both sides showing a lot of early match intent here. John Mwengani, followed by Gladwin Chitolo. So how many seasons has he put together in the various clubs that he's played for, the 35-year-old former Pirates man?
He's evolved his football. Plays centre-back, used to play centre-midfield, could play on the right-hand side. He's wearing the captain's armband now. Edwin Chitolo.
Spodelo Krele, left-sided fullback of 23 years old, one of two former Utongati players in the squad today. The other one is Ntikelelo Kladi, a 29-year-old centre-back who's on the bench. Don't forget Utongati as well. On Timtani, getting the better of the defence. The keeper's off his line. Side netting. The goal was beckoning for Marumo Gallants. And the blunder Zimbabwean not able to slot home the opportunity that provided itself so beautifully from a rather muddled Arrows bit of defending.
First question. Where were you going, keeper? Coming out from that, because if you make that decision to come out, go and win the ball or commit something. But it was caught in no man's land. Bad decision for me, but unlucky, because they should have punished that kind of mistake. You punish those kind of mistakes. He can be proud.
Another man who formerly played in the Motepe Foundation Championship with Pretoria Callies and the University of Pretoria Tucks, the Namibian-born Edwin Mayova. And again illustrating the real lack, I suppose, at South Africa's top flight, the Betway Premiership, of South African-born goalkeepers. And today again, Washington Arubi, Zimbabwean-born, Edwin Mayova, Namibian-born. You go through the ranks, I think there's only 5 South African-born goalkeepers in the whole Premier League, but we speak about this regularly.
I know. I've gone through that lecture with you as well.
Nemtachana pulls the trigger and it's just wide.
Nothing wrong in being innovative, being present in the situation. He is busy. Mtajela winning that. They had to improvise. Look at where he is. bit hesitant.
Sentami Mabocha. Nice control, little look up as well from Diana Monaco. Gets ball and Malinga simultaneously cleared by Phillips. Twist and turn from Ntwantwe. As I said, a very similar role because he's also not playing box to box, just like Nemta Jelland. It'll be interesting just to go through and watch those two players for at least the first half. Similarities, dropping behind the halfway line, but always available, maybe 10 meters inside his own half, then to spread the ball wide and then make a direct run through to the edge of the penalty area. Nemta Jelland doing the same sort of job as Ntwantwe currently. Winkani, steady role he played for at Kanshanshi in Zimbabwe. Ball going a bit awry from Sekele Setole. Zwane loses out. Nemta Jelland looks one way, passes the other. And Sentami's got a bit of pace. Zwane maybe a little bit more. Finds the ball back though to the Zimbabwean. Willing to have shots from all sorts of parts of the ground are Marumo Gallants, and their keenness to go in front. That's Kumbulani Ngube.
If you believe in your technique, nothing wrong. I think it was on a spare of a moment. Fortunately, couldn't get it on target.
Fascinating that the last home victory for Marumo Gallants came against Orlando Pirates on the 28th of February. Final day of February in a non-leap year. Those are crucial points, but from now to the end of the season, crucial points all over the place.
It's panic time, where if the results are not coming, players get to be put under pressure. Coaches are under pressure, but sometimes you've got to become very calm and composed and believe that you can turn things around.
Washington Arubi. Knoxville Chiswa headed back towards his own goal, and it was a dangerous moment because there was no defence on that far side upright. Arrow should have scored there.
I agree with you. Unlucky. Played onto the far post, not convincingly cleared. This is where you panic. Was he going for goal or what? What was it? I'm looking at the technique because he sort of side foots the ball as opposed to tapping it in. Use the in step as opposed to try to play it from outside.
His only goal was an important one this season. Came against Kaizer Chiefs, and it was at the FNB Stadium as well, in a victory for Arrows on the 12th of January.
Are you talking about the Chiefs that are through to the finals of Nedbank? Is that the Kaizer Chiefs you're talking about?
The one that will take on Chippewa by the time we get back to the hotel.
That Kaizer Chiefs.
The one that beat Sundowns. Yeah, the one that will play in the final in the Derby.
I wasn't talking about the other teams they beat. But yes, that's the Kaizer Chiefs you're talking about. He's busy, Msendami.
Yep.
Makes good runs.
Foul by John Mwengani. Three fouls made by both sides so far in the opening quarter of this Betway Premiership encounter. We do appreciate you joining us and hope that you'll stay with us for the remainder of the afternoon. Not a bad delivery and not quite the run, I don't think, that Marumo Gallants were looking for. John or Daniel Sentami are hoping for a little bit more effort from Junior Dion. The other junior in the side, Junior Zindoga, who plays right on the right-hand side, not available for selection due to injury. And one of the conversations I had with Coach Abdeslam Wadu was that they don't really have a training ground here in Bloemfontein. Nice defence from Arrows. And they're having to train on a rugby ground, which one would ordinarily think has got a pretty hard surface underneath. But they reckon at Marumo Gallants that it's a little bit on the soft side. Offside flag up against Mtanti. And therefore they are starting to pick up injuries because of the softness of the turf they're training on, which isn't good for connective tissues and joints.
You would expect, or you would have thought that being the only professional club, such facilities would have been provided to make life easy for them. But
I think there's a lot of work in progress here in Bloemfontein, where Marumo Gallants will be hoping to retain a status and retain professional football in the City of Roses. And the owner of the club, the chairman, very, very ambitious and doing everything he can to put whatever the coach and the players need in place, the structure of the team.
Well, I guess those are part of things that should have been part of the contract. To say, if we are coming, these are the terms, this is the kind of training facility that we want. You know, those kind of things. Those things are supposed to have been in place. Should have been something that is discussed at this stage.
Don't forget, Marumo Gallants were playing in the Motepe Foundation Championship last season. All the building blocks being put into place for Marumo Gallants to become a force in the Betway Premiership and really represent Mangaung, Bloemfontein and the Free State, just as we saw from Punya Sele Sele in the years past. With this stadium, Brian, was a rather rickety one, but the modifications that are done here and the complete reconstruction is really beautiful. I mean, the seating around the stadium extraordinarily colourful, and it's a lovely place to come to.
The legacy of the 2010.
Ntentami, responsibilities from the free kick. No, sir.
Where do they play rugby?
At Toyota Stadium.
Okay, that would have been a perfect shot for that, don't you think? Would have gone through with the rugby post.
Straight through the post. Yeah, that's 3 points.
Straight to the post.
Yeah, straight through.
We're in Bloemfontein. We're in Ekasi. Of course, this is where...
Nemtachela, penalty!
Yes.
Penalty! No hesitation at all from Christopher Kistuer.
You know, when panic kicks in, when you know you didn't do something right, you were too casual in approach. That's what happens. He ain't going to be proud. He's not going to be proud, Zami. Because there he became desperate. He was too casual at the back, got dispossessed, and he started panicking. And that's what happens. It is a penalty. And I'm going to say penalty is a goal. But it's not just given. It's not given. You've got to take it well.
Totally no dispute. Clinton Zwani, the 24-year-old, looking a little bit on the embarrassed side. Now, it was interesting that Daniel Ntentami was suggesting that he wanted to take the penalty, but as we suggested at the start of this encounter, if there is going to be a penalty to Marumo Gallants, it will be their captain, Diallo Manaka, who's already scored 4 times this season. Back-to-back matches against City and Chippa. And scored against Supersport United as well, but hasn't scored a goal since that Chippa United match on the 18th of January. Looking for his 4th goal. He scored in a 3-2 win against Polokwane City in the Carling knockout opening round. So he does take the penalties, he does convert the penalties, does Diallo Manaka. Important one for Marumo Gallants. If you're making sure that there's no encroachment. What goes through the mind of the taker? What goes into the planning from the goalkeeper? Naka against Mayova. First real opportunity of the match since that shot from Kagiso Malinga in the opening minutes. Oh, it's a great save. It really is. Clinton Zwani the first to celebrate with his goalkeeper, and Abdeslam clenching his teeth. He knows how important that goal could have been, should have been.
it's the posture for me. He also did not look convincing in terms of that. And that was within reach of the keeper. That's a poor penalty by his standards. And we know his standards. Very durable, reliable. Happens to the best.
Taswani will be a very, very relieved man indeed. Coach Wadu will be thinking, what does he have to do? Second corner of the match, first for Marumo Gallants. Parried away, back post shot. Hasn't gone out of play. Zindami looking to return. Will settle for the corner though, and consecutive corners then for the home team. Keeper's injured after palming that ball away. He must have fallen awkwardly. Good pressure from Marumo Gallants.
Let's have a look at what do you think could have happened. They didn't look convincing. I think it's in defense. That, no doubt, definitely a penalty. Didn't hesitate. You look at the quality of the penalty. That's within reach of the keeper. That's, for me, not the best. You've got to study. You look at the height of the keeper. When you play at that level, that's within his area of competence.
I gotta agree with you.
I say the best have a way of bouncing back.
Keeper's mended. Edward Mayova, corner to Marumo Gallants, their second in a row. Shot blocked off Maklati. And then the shot from Nemtajela, not testing the Namibian goalkeeper.
Nice distribution. As you see, of course, that's the save that he makes.
Phillips now looking for Mtanti. Sabia nearly picking up possession for the Lamontville Golden Arrows, and then the ball through the middle intended for Dion, but Dion is wide on the left-hand side to Jidvan Zindami, so pretty easy for Gladwin Shitolo. Pirouette for Kopeti.
I think there's a casualty. We'll see. I mean, one player that doesn't look that well for Arrows. We'll have a look at it again.
Half an hour played. Lamontville Golden Arrows, Malinga denied by Washington Arubi. Yalamanaka denied by Edward Mayova. Both goalkeepers have put up their hand today with the good saves. I would go as far as say Washington Arubi's save was of better quality, but saves still need to be made. Oh, that's a little bit careless from Mayova.
He just made a good save, and then he fumbles this one. What a let off. I think there's a player struggling severe. The side of Arrows could be hamstring issues. There he is. He's coming towards his bench.
Goalkeeper taking his time in getting the ball back into play, but the referee's permitting all this dilly-dallying and time wasting. Gladwin Shitolo, Kopeti. Oh, nice little skip from Kopeti as he goes past Mtanti. And Zindami. There can be criticism for Lamontville Golden Arrows. That's 3 times now in the opening 33 minutes that they've given the ball away in positions that are really proving to be dangerous. Zindami switching over onto the right-hand side suddenly. Again, no problem. Shitolo clears all the way up to chasing Malinga. Clearance from Matome Matiane. No dilly-dallying this time from Arubi. Lebakang Mabocha.
Reliable, durable as well.
Knocked away by Vusi Sibia. Sibia with a second bite of the cherry, and looks like he's injured himself in the process, but away comes Kamahelo Maklatsi. Support from Mube. Second time he's pulled the trigger.
Two players that are not so well. I see Sibia is a problem.
Yeah, Sibia's been sort of limping around, holding. I'm not sure if it's the left hamstring that's bothering him at the moment, but he's not at his best at the moment, I don't think. And Duduzu.
But they have two Sibias. The other one is the centre back for Marumo Gallants, who's also not so looking convincing, but he seems to be running well now.
Position given away rather needlessly again by Abafana Bestende. Clearance from Matomi Matiani. It's a nice bit of control from Muben. Dion again, not able to get it on the end of it. Wengani's done well defensively, just positioning himself on the inside of the Ivorian. Oh, Matiani's held the ball up very nicely indeed. I beg your pardon, Maklatsi. Mabocha and Sendami on the inside. He might have made a little bit of a run. The angle wasn't helped. Ndondwe came back beautifully in defense, but it wasn't helped because Mabocha didn't make the run to create that angle behind Willem Seni. There is a bit of an angle now. That's Maklatsi. Oh, carries. There's space for the shot, which doesn't carry any great quality.
Do we blame it on the quality of the pitch, or do we blame it on the technique? It's a promising move. He gets on the area which suits the right foot that he's got, that is normally his strongest, just couldn't get the shot on target. He's been that kind of promising player. I mean, having watched him at some point at Swallows.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very decent player indeed. With Kamahelo, Swallows, Chiefs and Chippa United, the three previous clubs that Kamahelo played for, and he's still only 26 years old, still with a big contribution to make, and maybe he's in the right team to do that. Knocked down from Sede Dion, pick up from Diana Manaka, Lebakang Mabocha. Good defense from Sipia as well as from Keenan Phillips. Zindami, a little push on the back of the former Swallows man, another former Swallows man. Played at Fitz to start his career, Keenan Phillips, went to Supersport United. Ended up in Dobsonville.
Just that nudge off the ball incident.
Mwengani.
It's not happening, eh?
Both sides making errors on the near side.
That's good boy errors.
Fans have brought their voices, and you'll remember from the days of Punyisele Sele and Siwilele at the old Mongloung Stadium, and the ladies and the choir and the singing voices of the Bloemfontein Celtic supporters, and the CD that they made, or the history of Bloemfontein Celtic is alive with all sorts of activities, positive ones at that. And the singing voices was just one of them. Gladon Chitolo, Shadrick Kobedi. Kobedi again, little tickle pass, Sede Dion. Ntanti. First touch wasn't his best, nicely away though by Vusi Sibia.
So the question is, you've got strikers who are the point of reference. If you've got Dion, who has not been engaged on the side of Marumo Gallants, that should be a bit of a worry factor in terms of the supply to him. Because so far it's been about just passing the ball around, but not getting it into the danger areas, which I think at the end of the day it's something that a technical team for both sets of teams might want to address. Shots on target.
City Dion. He's quite a big figure. Manaka with a little give and go. Cleared by Shitolo. Reads the game beautifully, does the 35-year-old.
You mature, you play the role well, because you would have started in the midfield. Neil Tovey started as a midfielder, ended up as a centre-back at Chiefs.
Oh, lovely little bit of return of ball here to Nsendami, and City Dion doing a lot of work. Phillips doing a lot of work too. Here's Kumbilani. Mube. Matlati back on the right-hand side. Mube. Nsendami. Nsendami trying to do it all on his own. Nice little cutback from him, but Paul's gone over the goal line from the Zimbabwean.
There's a player down on the side. Is that Masati?
Mabocha.
Mabocha. Let's have a look at what happens here. Ah, the late challenge.
A little bit naughty from Kobedi. Important part to play here for Marumo Gallants, Lebaka Mabocha.
Is it so much the impact, or is it how he landed? I didn't think too much impact.
Just a stern lecture from the former Royal AM player from referee Christopher Kistoer, who's yet to go to the pocket this afternoon.
He will be hoping that the pockets of spaces that they're operating in should become efficient in terms of the shots on target. Haven't been that fluid, haven't been threatening going forward to golden arrows.
Marumo Gallants have had 10 creative efforts, just one shot on target, and 1 out of 2 for Bafana Bestende. So the percentage work rate as far as creative efforts or attempts to shots on target, much better from Bafana Bestende, but the work rate cannot be underestimated from Marumo Gallants. Arrows also have a better possession statistic during the first half, as Nsendami sells a dummy to Mtanti and to Phillips, but runs out of space, runs out of team players as well to pass to. Mtanti doing a good bit of defending. Tlazwani still breathing a sigh of relief when that penalty was saved. Mabocha back on the field of play. Malinga and Mtanti wide on the right-hand side. We know that because Kagiso Malinga is a left-footed player, and he showed that in no uncertain terms in the opening minutes with that shot. Two minutes in stoppage time away from half-time in Mangaung. Lintachela, space for Senedion! Offside flag stays down, and now the Marumo Gallants team and supporters can celebrate.
Yes, they have to dance, because they danced the ball into that area which was pretty much fertile in terms of finishing. And of course, he's got to smile. It looked beautiful in terms of how it was constructed. Nothing wrong, nothing to be disappointed for golden arrows, but they were beaten by a good move, and it paid off, Kev. It paid off. Look at that. It's a ball that or played into the danger area. It looks like they were have it under control. No, it didn't. But it is this young man that sets it up for Dion. Good control, good finish, but lots of work that he needed to do because he needed to protect it. But the speed work was done on the left-hand side to supply him, and that's him saying thank you.
Yeah, and again, it's a ball that's been given away. How many opportunities have come for Marumo Gallants with the ball being given away? I count 5 in the first half alone. Kopedi chasing the ball down, but not close enough to him. Gives it away. The creativity from the left-hand side. The finish from the Ivorian. On the home side at a crucial time of the first half. We're nearly at half-time. And the applause from Coach Wadu. Different body language after that missed penalty. Understandably so.
Yeah, Nemtajel.
Yeah, not such a happy state of affairs from Marumo, but he knows that we are just 10 seconds away from first half stoppage time in the Dr. Petra Molamela Stadium. Fascinating. Look how the pitch is cut up here. There's been a lot of rain around the country. Even at this late stage of April, still rain falling, and rain has been forecast for Bloemfontein for just about the entire next week. So, the rain gods blessing South Africa with plenty of water. If you had a look at the Vaal Dam and the sluice gates that are open, the Ochrabis Falls are absolutely pumping at the moment near Kakamas.
Well, in the field of play, they're pumping.
Certainly are. And Sentami trying to make some space for himself. Intervention again from Mapocha, but good work in the midfield by Lamontville Golden Arrows. But there's only one man forward. Doesn't mean to say that the defense is a guaranteed thing. 3 minutes added on by match referee Christopher Stewart. We've had one of them already. Phillips with the launch. Space for the shot, and was there a moment of hesitation between two players wide? One of them is Spunelo Tsaele. And Sentami, Kopedi for company. Sede Dion doesn't have to participate. Nemtajela again. The angle's tight. He's kept it in play, but it's not going to benefit from his final touch. He's the attacking midfielder.
He is such an exciting player to watch. He sort of plays you the ball, but also commands you to play it back to him based on the run that he makes. Covers so much ground.
Now they're just not holding on to the ball long enough. Lamontville Golden Arrows giving it away, and again Marumo have an opportunity to push forward. They'll have a free kick here in a pretty central role with that foul on Kamahelo Mahlatsi.
They're losing their shape. Golden Arrows, they look tight in the first 10-15 minutes. Too many gaps being exploited now. Not sharp enough to try and cut out all of those threats coming from Marumo Gallants. You think they can go direct, looking at the distance?
Absolutely think they are going to go direct. Nemtajela's on the ball. Sentami, they've given it up though. As Sentami, defensive ball in the middle. There is Wengani. It's better than the previous one, but it's over the top anyway. And that should just about be half-time. In fact, it has been blown for half-time by referee Christopher Stewart. A missed opportunity by Kagiso Malinga, whose left-footed shot was parried away by Ruby in the opening minutes. A missed penalty by Diallo Manaka as Edwin Mayova makes a save. But Mayova could do nothing about the shot that was parried past him by Junior Dion, the Ivorian, for his third contribution of the season. And there's been plenty more opportunities. I think maybe the story of the first half is the amount of possession that Golden Arrows is giving away.
And that is something that they're going to address, because you're right, giving away possession cheaply in those sort of areas, that creates problems for them.
Players heading towards the dressing room. Kamelo Makhalatsi and Sendani just behind him. Yeah, it's been entertaining in the first half. Both sides looking hungry for goals as the golden green, the white and green hoops of Bloemfontein Celtic sort of in a mix there. Down the southern end of the Dr. Petros Molamela Stadium. One goal scored in the first half. There were many opportunities for other goals to be scored, but Junior Dion in the final minutes of regulation time. Gallants lead at half-time by a goal to nil.
Well, the halfway stage here at the Dr. Molemela Stadium, and it is Marumo Gallants who have a solitary goal advantage against Lamontville Golden Arrows. Well, we were expecting a really hard tussle, a really tough midfield battle, and we've had exactly that. I know Lucky Mhlati was casting a close eye with regards to that. Lucky, how did you see that first half?
You know, Golden Arrows started very well. I mean, a ball behind the defense of Marumo Gallants seems well with Matia, and he's setting up Malinga, and a shot was taken. But Marumo Gallants responded very well. I mean, the middle battle that we spoke about, doing very well for Marumo Gallants, because they just play 1-2 and take it to the left-hand side, which is where their strength is in the first half.
The one thing that I know, Patrick, you spoke about to me off air was at the beginning of the game, the pressing wasn't quite in unison with regards to Marumo Gallants. But when they did get it right and they were able to put pressure on the opposition, there were a few chances that came about.
No, for sure, Fizo. I think in the beginning, their pressing was not coordinated. And as the game progresses, you can see even the penalty that they got it because they pressed well in right moments. Hence, they won the ball in crucial areas and immediately into the box for that creation of the penalty.
I love what you said about Gion, you know, when we were speaking, that he holds the ball very well. That's where he held the ball, turned and played that ball across. But moreover, doing a big mistake in coming all the way. That means communication between the defenders and the goalkeeper, it wasn't in sync.
Yeah, of course, a few frustrating moments for Coach Mangoba Mniti with regards to this game. But Arrows, they started well enough in the game. They would have wanted maybe a little bit more in this opening half.
Of course, they started very well. If you can see the first moment, they were just trying to get behind Marumo Gallants, and they got there with Mtanti on the side, getting into the box with Malinga, his first shot. You can see that, honestly, they playing with high tempo. They wanted to get into the box as quickly as possible to frustrate the Marumo Gallants defenders.
And like you can see, when Arrows play their football and they are able to combine, they can create situations like this.
Yeah, absolutely. In transition, they are very dangerous. I mean, 1-2 passes, they are behind the defense. And you look at Malinga's shot, absolutely brilliant, but I just felt that he didn't put power behind the ball.
Yeah, you mentioned power behind the ball. Maybe a more delicate touch needed in this particular situation, but it's a defender's finish, Patrick.
Yeah, honestly, I think Shitolo should have come in with the left foot there. He was going to get a good connection and maybe getting in the oncoming players, maybe to get an opportunity to score. But honestly, he's a defender. But with us being a defender, you need to realize that in situations like that, you need to be a striker because you're in the striker's position.
There's another example of that pressing. All of a sudden, you're a little bit wobbly, you're not quite assured at the back, and you put yourself under pressure there. Uzwane, we saw Coach Mangoba having a proper go at him.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, the player that passed him, why don't you give him the message? But he was too casual in the crucial area. Yeah, for me, the captain Manaka, take nothing away from him. He's been taking penalties, but you've got a Dion, a lethal striker. Give it to the striker to bury that ball, because now the captain, you could see in his eyes, and Mawov, I can tell you this, in his days at Tuks, he was taking those penalties left and right. And I did say to you guys, where are Bamba Lomuntu? And Patrick says, yeah. I said, where are Bamba and why Bamba? So for me, I'd say that a striker before the captain himself.
Yeah, but I mean, the captain will argue that, well, I want to put up my hand, I want to take charge in that particular situation. But I mean, some really good moments from Gallants, and I know the crowd were really happy with this particular finish.
Honestly, a striker's finish in the box, a good first touch, proper first touch, that will set him in for the goal. And as a striker, when you are there, you don't need too many touches, Fiso. You just need to put it right, and that's Dion for you. He has been working very hard, and I'm not surprised that he got that goal.
And what I love, Lucky, is the awareness of space. The first touch, the chest, it goes into the space for him to get the shot away.
Let me take it back there. Namatejan winning that ball, going on a perfect cross, and look at it. He's always at the right place, you know, and the chest from him, he sets himself up very well and puts it down, Fiso, giving himself an advantage to bury that ball. Maova coming out, and he just put it away from him. And I love strikers like this. Stay in the kitchen. Benny said it. You must stay in the kitchen, my bro. Yes, I'll buy a goal score.
Gotta love that, gotta love that. Well, that's the halftime stats. And those numbers, they speak volumes, especially at the frustration that Coach Mangoba has. only 2 attempts, 1 on target for Golden Arrows.
Honestly, yes, I feel Coach Mangoba's frustration. If you see how Gallants is playing themselves, they are constantly into the box of Golden Arrows. Hence, the Coach Mangoba will be frustrated because now they're playing too far deep into their half and they're not getting any attack into the opposition half.
Yeah, and you look at the bench now for Marumo Gallants, you can bring on Nhlapo also. He's creative. He can play as a right back and a central defender. That's other players that can be brought in for Golden Arrows. I think they need a line on that left-hand side just to keep Matlati quiet and Sendani on this left-hand side.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see how they do approach things, and I get a sense, especially from the frustrations on the Golden Arrows bench, that we will see a few changes with regards to Golden Arrows. But for Gallants, they'll feel game is in control at the moment, and they'll be hoping to kick on, and their fans will be hoping to sing a little bit more in the second half.
Welcome you back to the Dr. Petros Molamela Stadium. We are in Mangaung today. Marumo Gallants, the home side, leading with a Dion strike on the stroke of half-time over Abafana Westende. And still looking for their first ever victory against the KwaZulu-Natal side. Are Marumo Gallants? Well, maybe they've done half a job, but the job's never complete until the final whistle is blown at the end of the second 45 minutes. And Zwane, who gave away a penalty, and Keenan Phillips at right-sided fullback have made way for the visiting side. Brandon Turon, who's a great player and comes in at right-sided fullback, will be back in the starting lineup. A former Maritzburg United player, and Sabelo Sitole, former Royal AM player, another one of the new signings, along with Kubedi, will come in for Zwane in the midfield as well. No changes made by Marumo Gallants as the referee blows us underway in Mangaung. It is Marumo Gallants 1, Abafana Westende 0, and it will be the KwaZulu-Natal side in the green and yellow that'll attack the goal to the left-hand side of your screen in the second 45 minutes. The white-clad Marumo Gallants will play from left to right during the second half. Early intervention required by Washington Arubi. Wasn't pleased with the back pass. Ryan Mata again joins me for the duration of the second 45 minutes, and one hopes that the chat in the dressing room from Ngoma Ngluti will address some of the careless possession that's been conceded by Lamontville Golden Arrows. Certainly Kubedi releasing possession when the goal was scored, and then Zwane giving away the penalty as well, but he's not part of the second half. Enterprising bit of intervention on the left-hand side from Sitole to start the half.
We've got to be more offensive in the approach in the first 15 minutes of this second half. They are trailing. Open up a little bit. And of course, you expect the hosts to be much more tighter, competitive in the midfield. That's Marumo Gallants.
Brendan Turon gets his first touch, and then immediately after that his second. Oh, bit of a scramble in defence, but there's three players forward here. Sapia's one of them for Abafana Westende. Cool, calm and collective defending from the 24-year-old Kumbulani Ngube, who really has been impressive this season since he burst onto the scene. Kamahalo Makhlatsi. Sindami back to the goal, but he sets the angle up very nicely. And Sindami holds on to possession. Slin Sindami, corner.
Full of energy, innovative in his approach to the game. Much more assertive, of course, in these early stages of the second half. Have some defending to do collectively, Golden Arrows.
Brendan Turon brought on to cover the work that's being done by Nsendami and Lebahang Mabocha. Corner played in, the header's just wide from Dion. Could so easily have been 2-0.
Big let off. He gets up quite well.
It's a crazy let off.
He gets up quite well. Just couldn't get that on the target. Open net, of course you'd be disappointed there. You can do better than that. You've got the aerial presence. We've seen the technique that you have in terms of hitting the ball. Not this time around, not the best.
They were really caught napping there, particularly Cledman Chitolo, the captain. We saw the frown off the face of the veteran defender. Ngube does nicely. Makhlati will chase. This is Chitolo again. Edward Mayova. If you missed the first half, then let me remind you that both goalkeepers, Arubi for Marumo Gallants and Edward Mayova for Abafana Westende, made good first half saves. Arubi off Malinga in the opening minutes with a good shot off the left boot. And Mayova saved the penalty of Diala Manaka after Zwane had brought down Nemtajela. Tanti clattered into by Sekela Sitole. Brandon Tehran into Duza Sipia. Bit of hesitation from Lamontville Golden Arrows, a bit of momentum lost. No damage done, I don't think. Lovely little burst forward, though, by the KwaZulu-Natal outfit. And Dwandwe doing all the hard work.
He's a real grafter in that midfield.
And he's quite a big unit as well, unlike Nemtajela, who's about half the height of Willem Seni. Willem Seni is quite a dominant looking figure. It's a lovely first touch from Sabela Sitole. Now an opportunity for Simonella. Penalty! Foul by Lube, almost in an identical position, although not the identical move, because the Marumo penalty came from direct entrance to the box from the field of play. This came from the left-hand side. Foul from Lube. And the penalty's been given by referee Christopher Kisteward. Just the sort of start that Arrows wanted. However, Marumo missed a penalty from this situation.
Let me tell you why I was laughing. Have a look at this.
Aye.
Unorthodox. But it happens, eh? Try every other possible means. He put his head there.
He said, I was losing my balance. What else did you expect me to do so? Trying to explain himself to his captain, Diallo Manaka, who missed the penalty. Now, Duduza Sipia, I think, is going to take the penalty here for the Lamontville Golden Arrows. Just 2 goals for him this season so far. Scored in the second match against Gallants. Don't forget with Knox Mutizwa on the 21st of September. Can he score twice against the same side this season? He dives the right way, did Washington Arubi, but it's a really good penalty. And the Golden Arrows on level just 6.5 minutes into the second half.
It's a good start. It's always crucial. Coaches will tell you the first 15 minutes of the second half is always crucial. For the team that is defending a lead, you've got to defend well. You're likely to get punished, and they get punished. And this brings back Golden Arrows back into it. You can't save that. Well taken. Good power.
Kamala Maklati in a bit of space, turns himself into better space. And Zendami, still in Zendami. Zendami with the third part of the cherry. Oh my word.
And there's the second half. There's so much energy. There's so much belief, creativity, attempts. Both coaches will be happy. Mangoba Mliti just equalized. The response, of course, too casual, I thought, in the approach. They got punished in terms of being dispossessed. The end product, though, wasn't that good. But still determined to get something out of it.
Chitolo seems to be struggling a little bit. This is Nemtajela. 1-1 the scoreline in Mangaung. Dwandwe doing the spot of defending, and Mtendami throws himself on the ground after conceding the goal kick, which he thought should have been a corner. But yeah, maybe the Zimbabwean's got an injury anyway, claiming a right ankle problem.
Do you see a player that looks like they're injured there? No. The players that are waiting for the Arts and Culture Department to advertise posts to act on something. Takes a shot. Good 10. Still determined. Gets the ball. Gets a shot. I think it's open now. The energy levels are quite high in the second half.
Always important to get yourself back on level terms as quickly as possible, and Lamontville Golden Arrows have done just that. This man missed a great opportunity with a header at the start of the second half, just the same as what we saw Malinga's shot saved in the start of the first half of Washington Arubi. Kamehela Maklatsi rides one challenge. No, he claims an injury also on the right ankle.
But now this time around, they'll just call the medics of his team to come and attend to him because it doesn't affect the play. The play will go on.
And there was a bit of connectivity on the back of his ankle from Shedrick Kopedi.
But then you minus one because you went out. So you can get treatment outside the field.
Absolutely. Nice touch from Sipia, and a good touch as well in there from Sitoni, who's been quite impressive since coming on as a sub at half-time. Sede Dion. Maklatsi. Oh, lovely little shake from Maklatsi as he gets past Sitole. Good ball to Sitole. It's the Bella Sitole not able to finish the move with a decent pass into the penalty area, but still possession here to Kopeti. Brendan Turon, Ndwandwe, Wingani, and suddenly Lamontville Golden Arrows have recovered the mojo by the look of things, Brian.
And control of the tempo of this game. They've just gotten the most important goal to equalize. Now they are bossing the ball.
Mube clears for Marumo. Touch from Diala Manaka. Easy for John Mwingani. Way by Manaka again. I think the offside there could go up here against Nsindami. It hasn't, you know. Nsindami, still Nsindami. Trying to cut inside. Chitolo with a challenge. And the referee says nothing wrong with it. Men's played well today. Zbunela Tele. As I heap praise on his head, it's a commentator's curse.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that. It's a fierce battle out there.
Nsindami was offside anyway. And look at the work that's been done by Willem Senim Dwadwe.
Mangabangiti at some point was saying he needs to speak to the national team coach Bafana to say, hey, pay attention to that young man. And I'm saying in Rwanda, the influence that he's got in that midfield. He was saying somehow he deserves to be in the national team. The boss is one, and that Mr. Bruce, he decides.
Don't often see Mangoba Nguti that animated, but he's a bit anxious at the moment. Maklatsi can't continue the run that was began by Nem Tajela. Slippery pitch is making it a little bit difficult for the KZN side, who practice in KZN and have had a break for 2 weeks. So, yeah, they should be dealing with the conditions maybe a little bit better than the side from Bloemfontein.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. It's also a bit risky for players.
Ngiti and his animations from the touchline have earned him a yellow card, and he continues with his remonstrations, does the highly experienced man, and Christopher Stewart engages in conversation. Well,
He is not happy at all. Game of emotions.
Yep. It's tough when you're fighting to get away from that 15th position in the Betway Premiership. Sibia back to goal. foul by Matiane. In fact, it was Sekele Sitole. Brennan Tehran. I'm liking the way that suddenly, and the scoreline still 1-1, but Lamontville Golden Arrows seem to be just bossing the midfield at the moment. The touches are better. They're not giving possession away as regularly as what they appeared to do during the first 45 minutes. And that's a decent ball to Sibinello. Off the back of Mube. He's looking for his second penalty, but he's not going to get it this time off the hands of Mube, who I think had his hands well behind his back at the time.
They get a corner. All the heavy artillery now being pushed forward.
Dangerous moments these for Marumo Gallants. Only the second corner kick of the match for Abafana Bestende. Driven into the area and no contact made. The keeper stayed on his line, but Makhlatsi's there to tidy up for the home team. Touch from Msindami. It's a nice touch as well. Strong header from Gledwin Chitono. Uncompromising.
He's upgraded his style. In midfield, of course, playing centre-back now, much more settled. Good leadership.
Lovely ball here. Kumlani Mube. Highest he's been up the pitch. He's had 2 shots in the first half and went over the crossbar. That's a nice little test of Edward Mayova from the fullback. Yet to score for Marumo Gallants this season.
The space was there for him. It was inviting. Came on the blind side. Didn't have too many options in terms of cutting it back. And went for glory. Nothing wrong in terms of hitting the target. I'm sure he would have wanted to do better. It's pretty much of an open game in the second half.
Yep.
It's more end-to-end stuff.
Still no changes made by coach Abdeslam Wadu. Fourth corner now to Marumo Gallants. Referee reorganizing the situation behind Edward Mayova. Sekele Sitole, nicely cleared though by the visitors.
So the conversations in the dressing room, half-time, is all about consolidating if you're leading, much more aggressive if you're trailing. And we've seen it with Golden Arrows having come out with all guns blazing. They've got something to show for it.
Tele's had an impressive second half so far. Maybe that pass not his best as Malinga is not able to pick up.
It's been in the game along as Pirat and Tiani.
Matiani, the job of picking up Gechiso Malinga. He's now moved over onto the left-hand side, which is a left-footed player. Nicely swept away by Vusi Sibia, cool, calm and collected. Little knock in the back from Sitole on Diala Manaka. The referee says play on. And play on does Ngube. Willem Seni and Dwantwe. Sibia, no support. Not a great touch either. Kamahela Makhlati. It's a bit of a naughty challenge on Sekele Sitole.
Very naughty.
John Mwingani in trouble.
No dispute, he knows it. Intention to break the flow. Break up the flow, regroup defensively, and he knew it's unnecessary. Tackle there. no intention to win the ball.
We'll wait for the whistle is the call from Christopher Kistewart. Opportunity here for Marumo Gallants. Both yellow cards have been shown to Abafana Basende players. Sitole Muingani and Sekele Sitole. One right, one left-footed option. It's going to be the latter who will try and invent something for the home side. Gets a second bite of the cherry here, does Sitole. Referee spotting a foul on Sitole from Kupeti. Free kick again to Marumo. I think the foul was from Sitole, actually. "20 minutes into the second half. Marumo Gallants led at half-time by a goal to nil. A penalty from Sibia makes it 1-1 for Arrows. Sitole again. Sibia will clear. And it does look as if the aim of the game, instead of clearing aimlessly, is possession football for Lamontville Golden Arrows. But once again, they've given it away. And Kamahelo Makhlati looking for space. Oh, got themselves in a bit of trouble with Sekele Sitole, outnumbered 3-1, and suddenly Arrows are away. Or were momentarily. A bit wasteful, but a nice touch from Matiane.
Someone is cramping, I think. Is it Junior Dion? Looks like it.
Tupelo Gluglu on the bench as a striker. Gabedinho Mhango on the bench as a striker, leading goal scorer. Next match for Marumo Gallants is against Chiefs, and maybe because Gabedinho Mhango's on 3 yellow cards, they won't want to risk him maybe in this match, but is the match against Chiefs more important than 3 points at home?
Win at home and go face up Kaizer Chiefs. The energy levels will be much more higher. Difficult decision to take from a coaching perspective, to say, well, we're playing at home, and you're right to say consolidate at home.
Gabedinho Mhango has warmed up, but he's going to be the 31-year-old Malawian who's going to come on in the place of Junior Dion. Now, there's a change of game plan there, because Junior Dion is a big fella and a target man. Gabedinho Mhango's not a target man, he's far shorter, and therefore the ball will be played to him at his feet. But he's very clever at the angled runs that he makes and the box entries that he will create for himself.
Well, add dead ball situations as well, because he gives them that kind of quality in terms of taking set pieces.
Space available here for Abafana Basende. I think they played the wrong pass, and suddenly Mtachela makes the creation to Matiane. Again, Arrows have defended beautifully and at numbers, and they didn't get all in the same space either. Created a nice little triangle that they used to great effect, did Abafana Basende. And suddenly they're looking a different side than they were in the first half, are Arrows.
I think what was lacking, it was more the tempo, because once they upped the tempo, they started unsettling Marumo Gallants. It paid off in the end. You can tell now they're trying to drop it a little bit and keep the ball longer. Not too sure where the surface that's a bit heavy will that allow them.
Vele's done well. We almost did brilliantly, but fortunately for Marumo Gallants, the ricochet took the ball away from Mube, who's fouled by Sapia. Or is he? Yes, he is. Big smile on the face of Nduduzo. Double change for Marumo Gallants, by the way. Gabedinho Mhango is going to come on. That looks like Tupelo Mokobodi, the attacking midfielder as well. So they're sitting on two really quality attacking players here. Junior Dion with an injury. Sekele Sitole has probably played the role that he needs to play. He'll make way. Good changes these from Abdeslam Wadou. Ngube's done well to get away from Kagiso Malinga. Tries the same with Sapia, but there's no chance on that occasion because the 29-year-old playmaker has done brilliantly. Arubi will have to clear in front of the self-same Kagiso Malinga. Confirmation of the changes. Dion and Sitoli off, Mhango and Mokobodi on for Kabadinho Mhango. Mokobodi, he's held the ball up beautifully. Nice done, nicely done by Nemtachela. He might have taken the opportunity himself, because Mhango was closed down on that inside left channel where he's so effective, the Malawian. Mokobodi again, Nemtachela, Maklatsi. Nice little tickle from Maklatsi, and a lovely piece of defensive work done again by Bafana Bestende.
They seem to be regrouping. Of course, they conceded a goal, Marumo Gallants. But they're playing at home, they want to start dominating, and that's exactly what we're starting to see now on their side.
It's a dummy to the near post. The referee has a look at that. Declines the penalty for the home side. John Mwangani must have had his heart in his mouth for a moment.
Oh, he had full view. Didn't hesitate, didn't flinch, didn't even bother to address the concerns. Of course, there are players who are in the ground.
In fact, it was Ndwandwe back for Golden Arrows with a challenge. Two teams continue to dish up respectable football, more than respectable football, to the Dr. Petros Molemele Stadium. There's more to come this afternoon, don't forget, on your World of Champions. Chippa Chiefs in Gqeberha. Also Sekhukhune United against Polokwane City in a Limpopo derby. Maklatsi, consecutive corners again for Marumo Gallants. The tally of corners continues. Mwangani a little bit injured. 7 corners to 2 in favour of the home side, but it's goals that count, to goals that contribute to 3-pointers at the moment. Both sides sharing the spoils here today. Oh, there was just a melee and the ball wasn't going anywhere near a player to get a vital touch from either side, really. Maklatsi, keeper's made a mistake, and Mhango acrobatically batted over the crossbar.
You know what? Lisekazin, it's in the blood. The energy levels are pretty high on both sides. They were trailing at some point, Golden Arrows, they're back at it, and the hosts are saying, we are going to put you under pressure, we want to regain the lead. Kabadinho Mhango gets a chance. You would have bet on him to say he's got a trick up his sleeve. Doesn't get it right. Could have volley. Didn't get it right. Kabadinho Mhango. And his eyes focused on it. Anything can happen where he is concerned.
Forward again by Kamohelo Maklatsi. Exchange of passes with Nemtachela. There's Nemtachela again, who can't thread the Ivan needle. Good work done in there by Shadrack and Kopeti, but they still have possession here. And if Mhango pops up, he might do better than he did a few moments ago with that volley that missed the target.
Change of gears. The tempo is getting higher and higher. A change is about to happen.
Sorry, Brian.
A change is about to happen.
The Knoxman is about to come on, and don't forget that there's only one team that's won matches between these two sides, and that's been Golden Arrows at home on 3 separate occasions. And this man has scored in every single one of those victories. Can he make it 4 in a row, and the first win for Golden Arrows on the road against Marumo Gallants, but 4 times scoring against the now Free State-based side.
They don't call him the Knoxman at default. Of course, this is a man that knows how to gamble, particularly when he's in the box.
Looks like John Mwengani who's down injured, so do they change the substitution or bring on a defender, which they can do? They've got Nkadi on the bench to Arrows as a substitute. They've got plenty of changes that they can still orchestrate. Sapia has been carrying an injury for a little while. He makes way. He scored from the penalty spot, don't forget. The Knoxman has scored 3 goals this season. Scored in match number 2 against Marumo Gallants with Sibia. Since then, scored most recently in a win against Polokwane City away from home and a win against Kaizer Chiefs at home. 2 goals in the last 4 matches for the Knoxman, and looks as if he wants to end the season on a high note. Half an hour played in the second half, 15 minutes remaining and stoppage time. Marumo Gallants have gone off the boil a little bit. Having said that, I think they've been restricted by the reconstruction of the midfield and playing to instruction from Abafana Bestendi. It really has been an impressive second half, hasn't it? Tanti, Brendan Turon can't find Malinga. Well, he did find Malinga at the end of the day because the defence wasn't quite worked out by Lebogang Mabocha. Does well at the second time of asking. Kopeti offside.
Definitely offside.
I think offside against Knoxman, yep.
Well spotted by the assistant on the far side.
Mube with an intervention. Oh, that's a strong challenge, and I don't think the referee will like that intervention from Diallo Manaka, who's on 3 yellow cards, and he's going to miss the match against Kaizer Chiefs.
Now, a leader of his caliber, looking at that area where the battle was there a need to commit that kind of tackle? No. There was never a need. That kind of tackle, Brian Edgar, it's not on.
No.
Doesn't look good.
No, sir.
Block his path. Not that kind of tackle.
The tide has certainly changed since the beginning of the second half, and the reorganization from the highly experienced Mangoba Ngliti. Wengani, Mayova. And he was going to go back to Shitolo, but it's a much more direct route that Arrows are professing at the moment. Nice turn from Sitole. Knoxman might have been just in an offside position, and Ntwantwe, Malinga, keeper's ball.
There's too many gaps that are open, particularly in the midfield for both teams to exploit. For some reason, they've just opened up the field. It's not longer tight, just pretty open. You have time on the ball.
Hello, Makhlati. Ngube for company. There goes the more direct route as well, and Ngube eventually does get possession. That looked like a handball. Nope. Certainly something from the supporters. And Sentami, quite a second half then during the first. Ngube again. Kamahela Makhlati. Second ball though falls to Marumo Gallants, and there's a battle on here. I think that Mongo's a little ambitious.
Yeah. And it's not just him. I mean, a few of the players are throwing themselves on the ground, and then there's other Arrows players that are saying, I'm cramping. So
next to the touchline as well. Let's have a look at this. Was there a handball there? I think the call was for the handball.
Was there? Was there a foul even by the keeper? No. There wasn't a foul. You're talking possibilities of a handball?
Yeah, that one there. That flying arm.
I'd like to see that again.
Spray required. Shedrick Kupedi in the treatment room on the pitch.
Someone is going to get booked from the technical team of Golden Arrows, and maybe that's the coach.
No, that is on the bench of Marumo Gallants. That is Wadu.
And he's trying to stress his point, or put across his point. And the referee saying, I'm the man in charge. There's a tone that you need to use to speak to me.
Still claiming his innocence, and Daniel Mzindami in the meantime showing a bit of emotion as he thrusts the water bottle onto the turf here at Dr. Petros Molamela Stadium. They're still ruining that opportunity, maybe not so much from the Nemtajela penalty call, but I think it was that arm that was waving around in the penalty area. Any chance of seeing just before the Nemtajela attempted a penalty, there was an arm that was floating around from Sendami, again, not able to make too much of it. Lube continues to be impressive. Malinga, though, is an experienced player. It's not a foul. Cut and thrust, but one has to feel that the better football's being played by Golden Arrows in the second half. Have a look at this arm that was in the penalty area. There the ball's played in. Little ricochet. Yeah, I think that possibly came off the shoulder of the Arrows defender.
So that can be bad.
Oop. And it wasn't given. Oh, nice little dummies out towards Mokopoti, Zindami. And suddenly Arrows are defending beautifully and consolidatedly. And there's no panic there as well from Abafana Bestendi. We have a chance, don't forget, to bump Chiefs out of the top 8 before their meeting against Chiefs. Chipper United, I beg your pardon. Referee gets a touch.
Like 2 touches.
Washington and Ruby inside the final 10 minutes in the Free State. Malinga the beneficiary. That's a good save and brave from a Ruby at the feet of Kagiso Malinga.
Is it about the contact or how he landed?
Well, I think Washington and Ruby is claiming it's the contact.
That's a good save. Solid. Good timing. There will be 2 changes that Golden Arrows will make. We've seen a few players cramping on the side of Golden Arrows.
This ball in the midfield. They do get second ball possession though through Kupedi, and they're just not reacting quick enough in the second half on Marumo Gallants, although they do have possession now with Nemtajela. And it's a foul from the number 15.
That's being naughty. He was losing possession and he knew that.
Nemtajela involved, but a foul on Shedrick Kupedi will give Golden Arrows a free kick. Double substitution time for Mangoba Ngliji. Both coaches picking up yellow cards today, so it's going to be Bongani Tlele, the left winger, who's going to come on, a former JDR Stars man, and Tlele will come on for Kagiso Malinga. He's a left-footed player as well, is Bongani Tlele. And Ntsikelelo Qadi is going to come on here for Shadrack Kopeti. He's a centre-back, but let's see if he's going to be drafted into that holding midfield role. Otherwise, Gladwin Shisolo will go and play in there. I don't think Ngani can, but yeah, fresh defender, fresh midfielder for Golden Arrows with 5 minutes remaining in stoppage time. Industrious performance, particularly in the second half, and a match of contrasting halves here as once again Sitole tries to make ground. Maklatsi. 5 minutes in stoppage time, away from full time in Mangong. Gallants with a point will climb into 12th place above Magesi FC, who have a match on Sunday against the Rockets TX Galaxy up in Polokwane. The Lamontville Golden Arrows will stay in 10th place. So Marumo Gallants closing to within 2 spots of Bafana Bestende. But there's still space for this to be won. Mokopodi wasn't anticipating the pass from Nemtajela, and that's a little bit silly from Marumo Gallants, careless. Clearance from Vusi Zibia. Time running out here for either side to grab a meaningful advantage, and any goal scored now will probably celebrate the win of this encounter. Important one as well. Don't forget, though, the Golden Arrows have a few matches in hand. This is only their 22nd match of the season. A couple of matches that they haven't played in succession. Royal AM, the match for obvious reasons if you follow football in this country. A match against Orlando Pirates, and then SuperSport United, but they didn't play a match against Pirates as well on the 10th of December because of CAF considerations. So yeah, some tough matches to come for Bafana Bestende. 4 matches outstanding. Next match for Arrows will be a derby against Amazulu on Sunday the 27th of April. That's next Sunday. Marumo Gallants will be away against Kaizer Chiefs a day earlier at FNB Stadium. They ran out of ideas in the second half, Marumo. Sorry, Mike.
Nah, they're rushing things, and I think there's a state of panic that they've gotten into.
Foul by Gabardino, frustration for Marumo. A little bit of rain around Bloemfontein, but that was forecast for the next, just about a whole week down in this part of the world. Keeping ball possession here, Golden Arrows. Maybe a point away from home is good enough for the coach, Ngobengliche, who knows that matches in hand are not points on the board. However, they are going to be tough matches against SuperSport United, fighting for survival, against Pirates, who are fighting for a top spot in the league. First time defending from Tonu Mwingani. And still they push here with Msentami. Interesting ball in the area. And again, appeal for a handball. And again, Mhongo goes one-on-one with the keeper. And again, for me, it's a little bit late.
It's always a tricky ball when it comes like that. In swing, keeper. And Kele was not even aware the ball hits him from behind, but a bit of a panic situation on the Golden Arrows defensively.
Free kick to Golden Arrows with 40 seconds remaining in first half, bigger pardon, second half regulation time. The Knoxman gets a touch. He hasn't had too many good touches since he's come on, and time running out for him to score a winner for Arrows, or score in a victory for Arrows for the fourth time. Klele loses out to Ngube. Really have been impressed with Kumbulani today. Kamahelo Maklatsi, counter-attack football. Does he release the ball early? Should have. And again, not the right options being taken by Marumo in the second half. Space though for a chance for Sitole. Desperation defending from Marumo Gallants. It can lead to trouble. Need to get better organised. Foul there from the substitute Brendan Tehran, claims his innocence, and then a bit of push and shove, and I don't think that's very nice.
Yeah, the battles, this sort of battles just shows the players are all worked up. There's a sense of purpose in their approach. And of course, I'm sure they both sides would feel that they could have scored another goal. The Golden Arrows, it's good. They managed to get themselves back in the game.
Lebakam Mabucha should have picked up a yellow card from that situation as well. Diana Manaka trying to plead the case of his fullback. And the referee's having any of it. 5 minutes were added on, by the way, to the end of the second half.
It's a battle of two young men determined to get hold of that ball. Should have allowed play to go on. I don't think it warranted some form of referee. Yeah, maybe yes.
Almost a boxing referee for a moment is Mr. Christopher Kistuer.
Were you at boxing last time?
I was at boxing last time, yeah.
Okay. I see it's still in you.
Bakari Samake, Frenchman, 21 years old, in the junior middleweight division, up against South Africa's Rock Knapp in Paris. Rock Knapp knocked out in the 8th round.
Not Paris, Paris.
No, not Paris on the way home. The real one.
Sure.
Maklatsi with a little push in the face from Spanelo. Still going to be a goal kick for Golden Arrows. 2 minutes of the time added on by match referee Kistuer have elapsed, and another 3 still to play. 1-1 the scoreline. Klele, been impressed with him today. Willem Seni forward. Good defence by Sibia. This man's done well since coming on as a sub. Sabelo Sitole. Little turn back by Mtanti, who's had by all accounts, a rather quiet second half.
I also think that Golden Arrows needs to vary their game a little bit. They want to attack through the center of the park, but sometimes just playing through the wingers, if you've got a strong striker in the box, just be a bit of a variation.
Good ball from Nemtajela. Second bite of the cherry, though, for Golden Arrows. Maklatsi. Space at the back post, but nobody there for the home side. Zendami had played a little deeper. Zendami having to get rid of 2 Golden Arrows defenders, and did so adequately enough, but clearance made by John Mwingani. And Zendami, though, back in possession. Marumo looking to end the match with a bit of a flourish here. I don't think the result that either team would have wanted in their positions on the table, but I think happier for Arrows away from home if it ends 1-1. Still, we're not over yet. Ngube. Again, nobody wide on the left-hand side for Marumo Gallants. Away by Brendan Tehran. This is as easy as you like for Vusi Sibia. Ntwantwe. Madi. Well, it's a little bit of a cheeky pass in the midfield, but keeps possession for Golden Arrows as they enter the final minute of the 5, added on by referee Christopher Kistuer. Lele again. Lovely combination. Sitole, still Sitole. Oh, twists and turns, it goes one way and then the other. Beautiful defending though by Mokobori. One of only 2 changes made by coach Abdesalam Wadu today. Makhlati kept in check by Ndwandwe. Second ball now fell very nicely indeed to Mokobori. Now it's Msendami. Mhango waiting. Mokobori. Somebody's got to take a shot surely, and eventually it comes from Mokobori, but it's screamingly wide.
The patience of rotating the ball onto the left, bringing it onto the right, center it, at least hit the target. Good attempt.
There was a deflection.
Yeah.
Time is up at Dr. Petros Molamela Stadium. Will allow the corner to take place. They're wasting a bit of time here on Marumo Gallants. Jonan Sindami, maybe the final touch of the match. And that's exactly how it transpires. Marumo Gallants the better side in the first half. Golden Arrows arguably the better side in the second. Both scored either side of half-time and will share the spoils today. Brian,